13 career victories, second all-time behind Coach K.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're honoring the 2003 team, his national championship team here. He's in the Naismith Hall of Fame. Not a lot left for him to do as far as accolades are concerned, just winning ball games.
Taking the program to the Final Four 5 times. He came home with that national title against Kansas in '03, and we'll certainly be talking about that through the course of the afternoon. Mintz with the shot, too strong. Edwards got a piece of it, back to Mintz. Edwards over Carr.
Really got to clear out inside that time. Kind of a broken play. Now Carr, a good defender at his size, but 9 personal fouls in his last 2 games, so he's had some issues staying on the floor.
Jesse Edwards averaging a double-double for the Orange, over 14 points per game and the 10 rebounds.
You're going to see different people in that at the top of the in the middle of the zone. They had Hildreth that rotation.
That is Carr. His shot was deflected to Hildreth. Benny Williams came over the top to knock it out of bounds. We'll stay at this end of the floor. Look at the shot clock, Mike. 2.1 for Wake. Here's a look at our 4 keys to the game with Mike Jaminski.
Yeah, real quick, Wake Forest, they need to create easy offense for Syracuse. Defend the 3, which has been the problem for them the last 4 games.
Yeah, Mike, on Tuesday against Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets set a program record making 18 three-pointers. And as you mentioned, the last 2 games, opponents have attempted 81 threes against the Orange as it bounces out for Williams.
Well, I mean, you know, that's, the zone is that you want to encourage that, but they have just run into some incredibly hot teams. Teams have averaged 15 made threes in the last 4.
Williamson cannot find the range from three-point territory.
And you know, with Monsanto out, Williamson, who had a very good game against BC, they're going to rely on him for threes.
Girard to Edwards, foul on the play. It was Klintman who hit the deck for Wake Forest.
So look, I mean, Edwards loves to work on that right block, and so very good, nice under control.
74% from the line on the season for Edwards.
You know, it's funny, Steve Forbes was telling us today before shoot-around that in his entire coaching career, he's never played a team the last game of the regular season that he had never played before that year.
And the ironic thing is, they're going to play, Mike, next week at the ACC tournament.
Well, the game film will be fresh for both of them.
We'll just see what the small number in front of each team is going to be on the second day of the tournament.
Yeah, it's amazing. I still use the term game film when that film.
I know.
Held ball, possession to Wake Forest.
Girard trying to back his way down against Williamson. An up fake and 2 for Girard, calculating the angle.
How about Joe Girard with the big man move inside? We saw Edwards on the other side. But you know, again, this is it's a smaller backcourt for Wake Forest, so Joe Girard taking advantage.
Girard had 11 points on Tuesday against Georgia Tech, was 2 of 6 on three-point attempts. Now Wake is 0 for 4 on three-point attempts. Mintz runs it up. Trying to slice through the defense. Couldn't spin it off the glass. Carr up to Williamson. Trying to beat Girard to the rim, and he will.
Problem was, Mintz penetrates. Nobody rotated back defensively for Syracuse. That was
on number 11, Andrew Carr. His first and second team foul on Wake Forest. At the line for 2 shots will be Jesse Edwards. Substitution for the Demon Deacons, number 33, Matthew Marsh into the lineup. Count the field goal for Tyree Appleby. Media timeout on the court with the score of Syracuse 6, Wake Forest 4.
It's here. Ford Truck Month.
Ball is brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places. And by CPI Security, CPI home security that protects what matters most. And by Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires. The 4 seniors honored prior to the game: Symir Torrance, John Bola Jacques, Jesse Edwards, and Joe Girard.
Well, the good news for Syracuse is that Wake has started out cold from 3-point line, 0 of 4, and 2 baskets they did get have been in transition, which we thought would be a strength for them today, Tom.
Yeah, Wake Forest is 0 for 4 from 3-point real estate as Mintz brings it up for the Orange. Williams trying to go over Klintman, and he came up short.
They gave him some room to operate on that side. Good defensive possession for Klintman.
Wake Forest is 18-12 on the season, 10-9 in ACC play, 3-6 on the road in the ACC. They work it around the perimeter. Williamson attacking the glass. Edwards snares it out of the air.
Better jobs by Benny Williams to get out and cover. That corner has been exposed in the zone from 3. He did a nice job forcing the 2.
Girard once again trying to work on Williamson. He was successful the first time doing this. Marsh came over with the help defense, and the ball goes out of bounds. Edwards could not save it on the baseline.
It's not too often that you see a point guard in the post get double teamed. But Marsh came over to help out that time and worked. They got the turnover.
Coach Boeheim, the most seasons at a current school, the most wins at an alma mater, played here, assistant coach, head coach starting in 1976. Klintman's got 3.
And he's a guy whose role has expanded in the last 7-8 games. Steve Forbes talking very highly of him and his role, and he's also a guy who can make threes, 42% on the year. You know, it's going to take your breath away when you come out here whenever that day comes and Jim Boeheim isn't on the sideline for Syracuse.
Joe Girard with a 3 for the Orange.
Yeah, good start for him, and that is really going to help him settle into the game, get past the senior day ceremonies.
He's made both of his shot attempts, and now up to 5 points for the leading scorer for Syracuse and 6th in the conference.
And that's the thing, Appleby over the last 3 games with Monsanto out has taken more threes than he normally would.
Now Monsanto leads the ACC in made 3-pointers. Joe Girard is tied for 3rd.
And that's being hurt.
He's missed the last 2 games and now this game. And it was a non-contact injury for Monsanto, making a move at NC State and just awkwardly twisting his knee, and he's out for the season.
Yeah, those non-contact injuries usually don't end up well. And it's, you know, I just hate that for him. He worked so hard to come back from his Achilles injury, and then now having to deal with this.
15th year overall for Steve Forbes. Came from East Tennessee State University out of the Southern Conference.
Passing around the perimeter against the zone.
Hildreth dropping it low to Marsh for the alley-oop.
That alley-oop is there against his zone, and that's a terrific feed right there. I mean, that's Marsh's strength. Just throw the ball at the rim and let him finish.
He is now 70 of 77 on field goal attempts this season. Now, he doesn't make enough to meet the minimum to be amongst the stat leaders in field goal percentage, or else he would be far and away #1 in the league. Girard on the pivot. Edwards with a volleyball, but it goes to Appleby. Back to Carr, lining up a three. Marsh on the offensive glass, high off the backboard for two.
I think that might have slipped out of his hand a little bit. Good finish for him. And the thing about Carr, though, also he's got that wrap on his right hand. That's really affected his shooting.
Wake Forest foul on number 2, Cameron Hildreth. His first, team foul number 3.
Hildreth has the foul for Wake Forest, his first.
You see right there, zoom in, you know, obviously not, maybe affecting him a little bit on the defensive end as well, but, you know, when that's your primary hand, very debilitating to have all those wraps on.
Carr is one of those impact transfers that Steve Forbes has gotten in the last couple of years, and Williamson is down. He collided with Girard.
And he got the worst of it and the foul.
His first.
Yeah, here's the collision, and that's a function of how closely they want to guard Girard and really kind of stay in his shirt.
Good to see that both players seem to be okay after that collision. Girard trying to free himself up. Lets it go for three. Carr with the box out.
Pretty nice job chasing by Williamson, chasing Girard around.
Lucas Taylor coming out of that corner, and now Williamson. Carr on the offensive end. Over the top is Bell.
Foul on the ground.
Personal foul on number 0, Chris Bell.
And offensive rebounding now start to be an issue with Syracuse.
That's 4 offensive rebounds in the first half for Wake Forest. Saw Copeland coming into the game for the Orange. Williamson on the cut. Try to feed, the ball hit the baseline, and then Malik Brown ended up in the photographer's row trying to save it.
Those are times when Appleby, he gets caught up in the air like that. Very fortunate that they didn't get a turnover. 12 seconds on the shot clock. He's better off making a mistake up on the rim and letting him get an offensive rebound.
Entry to Carr with the turnaround.
And a shot like that is not going to be affected by that hand at all. And he dinged up his right leg a little bit on that play.
He is a double-digit scorer for the season, Andrew Carr, 11.1 points per game, and the leading rebounder just under 6. That's Girard with the jumper and a little follow-away and touch.
Well, he's been making some tough shots so far in this game off the dribble. With Monsanto's injury, Lucas Taylor in the game now has seen his minutes go up.
Shot clock is down to 10 for Wake. Taylor. Edwards, another rebound. The teams right now, Mike, are 2 of 14 from beyond the arc. Mintz with a dazzling dribble. Trying to finish it off. To Mintz.
And that was about as well as Lucas Taylor could have played him defensively. What a fabulous right-hand finish.
Some magic from Mintz. One of the top freshmen in all of the nation. Alley-oop to Marsh. They could not execute it.
Yeah, and probably would have been better served coming down with that one and then going back up.
Mintz in traffic. Draws the contact.
Foul is on number 0, Lucas Taylor.
Lucas Taylor picking up the foul for Wake Forest. The freshman Judah Mintz. A magical move. High off the glass for the Orange.
We ask that you please turn your attention to the video board as we welcome back our Syracuse basketball alumni.
Carmelo Anthony, basketball royalty, in the house with Chancellor Severide. Taking a few pictures. He was here for the presentation last night where the 03 team watched the game. We'll get into that as the game progresses. Here's the Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina upcoming schedule. And it's Greensboro, G-Man. That's the destination for the 29th time in the history of that tournament.
Yeah, I mean, getting nostalgic myself. A very special place for me. All 4 years, the tournament, our teams played there, and so a very, very special place for me. And glad to see it back there.
Couple of ACC tournament titles for you, G-Man.
Yeah,
in the game 3 times, right?
Yeah, 3 finals, 2 titles.
Awesome.
Lost to North Carolina my junior year. Dudley Bradley having a fabulous game in the finals.
Like it was yesterday.
Yeah. Well, it was a much shorter affair back then.
True.
Only 7 teams then, and in my senior year, 8 teams when Georgia Tech came into the league.
Syracuse into the league for the 13-14 season.
And while no team has come out of Tuesday to win the tournament yet, teams have come out of Wednesday. So good news for both of these clubs, being the 8-9 game. And last year, Virginia Tech, 7th seed, going on to win.
Defeated Duke in the title game in Brooklyn, New York. Wake Forest has won 4 ACC tournament titles in its storied history, the last one coming in 1996, also won in 95. Steele, Mintz. Trying to go all the way. Appleby might have got a piece of that one. It's out of bounds and to the Orange.
When he gets running downhill, it is awfully tough to stop him, and they were able to at least get a recycle on the underneath out of bounds. I think, this is a game, and Mintz loves to operate in the paint, and with his size, it's really going to be an advantage for him.
Mintz has 4 points so far midway through this first half. Girard leads the way with 7. In fact, he's the leading scorer in this game. On the glass. Copeland on the other side. A couple of golden chances for the Orange, and it goes out of bounds. And Brown was right there on the doorstep, Mike, and missed.
Yeah, you got a couple guys who aren't big-time scorers in there. Good job on the glass.
Carr spinning in the paint. Edwards, the closest Orange player, and his first personal.
Yeah, and that's a tough one, and he really, that was going to be a difficult shot to convert. Jesse Edwards has got to be selective with when he uses those fouls. I think that was one he could have saved and just bothered the shot.
Andrew Carr, 77% from the line for the junior from Westchester, Pennsylvania. Struggled in that loss at home against Boston College. Mike. Carr just 3 points and 3 boards, and only took 3 shots. He started and played 28 minutes.
But his, a very good scorer, but a double-figure rebounder 9 times this year. And right from the start, Steve Forbes liked him defensively.
Copeland trying to shake Appleby. They got it to Edwards. Quick pass from Brown to Edwards.
Nice job, everybody keeping the ball alive that time. And Steve Forbes getting hit with a technical foul. We've seen a lot of technicals called this year. All the assistant coaches have kind of rallied around Steve Forbes to try to keep him from getting that second one. He's calmed down, but was really upset with the no call there on the last play.
So Girard handling the technical free throws. That is not the guy you want to see at the free throw line for the opposition. 86% to lead the team. Fourth in the conference with that 86% for Girard, and Coach Forbes still storming up and down those sidelines. Once again, the winner of this game will be the number 8 seed at the tournament next week. Single bye in the 8-9 game. The loser, the 9 seed.
So far in the half court, Wake has had trouble with this zone. Right now, I mean, they got 10 seconds on the shot clock and not even looking inside.
Appleby, he'll just fire away.
And see, and you know, with the zone at the end of the clock, he can't do the things and break down people.
Bending the rim at the other end, Malik Brown, and a timeout, Wake Forest. The Orange start the break. Mintz up ahead. What a pass to Brown. It's a 12-1 run. Syracuse.
The $20 Little Big.
21-14 Syracuse here in the first half. Tom Wormy, Mike Jaminski, our outstanding ACC college basketball production crew with you from the Dome and Jim Boeheim Court.
And a lot of that timeout, I'm sure, was addressed at how they were going to attack the zone.
Hildreth deflected away, tried to get it to Carr, who is down behind the play.
Had a shot right there, but was looking to pass.
This is Edwards.
Great position inside, direct pass. Catch with 2 feet in the lane, it's going to be converted.
Edwards is 3 of 3 from the floor. He's got 8 points. Stolen by Mintz. Drops it down low and in rhythm. Brown to the rim and another timeout. How about Judah Mintz, who leads the ACC in steals, finds his teammate for another 2. From the 2003 national championship team, including Carmelo Anthony, who had this message for the current team.
You guys is carrying the torch. So never get discouraged. Never get mad at what this man is saying. Just know that he's going to talk and he's going to yell and he's going to scream. But at the end of the day, he got nothing but love for y'all, and we got nothing but love for y'all, and we support y'all.
And Carmelo Anthony in attendance for our game this afternoon. That 03 team will be honored at halftime. It was an emotional night, Mike, and Carmelo said that was the first time he watched that national title game from start to finish.
Yeah, and you know, I think the program and the people, the fan base, needed a feel-good moment, and they certainly had one last night, and seems to have carried over into this game today so far.
The words of inspiration for the current Orange group.
Yeah, they made it known they didn't want to walk out of here having witnessed the loss.
Great evening. They played the game in its entirety on the big screen, and the players from that team, offensive foul against the Orange, had some running commentary along with Coach Boeheim. Of course, Hakim Warrick and Jerry McNamara will have their jerseys retired after the game today. So it's just a complete weekend of festivities and a celebration of Orange basketball. Wake Forest is trying to upset all of that this afternoon, trying to get their first win ever in the Dome. They're 0-5.
But right now, to this point in the game, they've looked really disjointed offensively, especially in the half court. I mean, that's just a couple of passes on the outside, and Clinton getting a contested 3.
Wake Forest will maintain possession. By the way, Mike, Wake today, 1 of 12 on three-point shooting. And they are a good three-point shooting team. 38% of the season, second best of the ACC.
It's a departure from teams in the last 4 who have not been very proficient three-point shooters, but have really shot above their level.
Yeah, Wake makes almost 10 per game. The last opponent inside the dome on Tuesday, Georgia Tech.
But a lot of that is Monsanto. Who talked about him leading the, makes per game and total overall makes.
The Yellow Jackets made 18 threes on Tuesday in a winning effort. They go inside to Marsh. Defense collapses. Got the shot away off the backboard for Appleby.
They're going to take a look at that. I don't know why Marsh didn't turn around and just score. I mean, it was point-blank range, and he had nobody around him. Right there, I mean, he goes up with his right hand. And here's the thing, I mean, we don't see the clock in that situation, and they're going to count it. And that was a huge bailout. And to this point, Tom, they had kept Appleby under control.
.640 and rolling here in our first half of play. 13th all-time meeting. That is Mintz along the baseline. So right now Appleby leads the way with 5 points.
And a bailout three to get to that point.
That's a three from the corner. That's Taylor.
And he's a guy, coming in limited. I mean, 2 of 5 from 3. But you get your opportunities with injuries, and let's see if he can step up and make a contribution.
Just the 8th game this season where he has seen action. The sophomore from Wake Forest, North Carolina. Edwards up high for the board on the offensive glass, and Klintman might have got a piece of him. Second on Klintman. So Edwards is going back to the free throw line, 2 of 4 from the line in the game.
They're going to come back in with Marsh, and they're going to lose Klintman's ability to shoot from the perimeter.
Edwards also has 5 rebounds in the game. Let's get a message from Coyote Tractor.
In my experience, if you work the land, you got to be a jack of all trades. You got to have a little bit of optimism and a whole lot of get-go.
Soft roll inside the dome. Syracuse trying to snap a 4-game losing streak at the end of the season. They'd won 3 in a row prior to that losing streak, Mike, against NC State, Florida State, and Boston College.
And had a losing streak before that, so it's been very, very streaky.
It's a wild pass by Appleby.
They're trying to throw over the top to Marsh as much as they can.
Copeland with the spin and the dish. Just came off the rim for Brown, and Edwards lost it.
Brought it down. Appleby was able to get the strip.
Appleby, three-pointer, ripping the ropes for Wake Forest.
That's his game. This and Wake has looked so much better when they've been able to get out in the open floor and run.
Deacon started the game 1 of 12 on three-pointers. They've made their last 3 three-point tries. Girard let the defender go on by. Brown tried to follow. Williamson grabs it. Inside of 5 minutes to go in the first half. Intercepted Mintz.
A lot of their turnovers have just been careless passes.
Mintz, Brown, Copeland. Foul on the floor. Passing in tight quarters. 1-on-1 situation. 7 steals now for the Orange.
His first personal, the 8th team foul.
10 turnovers in the half. Early, still 4 minutes, 2.5 minutes to go.
1 and 1.
Appleby picked up the foul, his first. Whittier Copeland at the free throw line, the freshman from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Did not score in the game against Georgia Tech, played 6 minutes off the bench. Tyree Appleby had a game-high 23 points in the loss to Boston College at home on Tuesday for Wake Forest. Williamson catch and release, and he hits a three. That's their last 4 made from three-point real estate for Wake Forest.
And Williamson, again, a guy who can step up, give them a little added firepower from the perimeter.
Basket of foul, Mintz.
How about going right, finishing left that time? Just does so much with the ball off the dribble. That's this, and you know, he gets the foul because he brings it right back into the defender, right in there, takes the body, and there's not a lot that Williamson is going to do right there.
Second foul against Williamson to put Mintz at the free throw line. 75% for the season. Top freshman scorer in the ACC. 16.2 points per game.
We've got Edwards, Girard, Mintz with 26 or 27 of the 32 points.
Orange is led by as many as 11 in this first half. Pass in tight quarters, bounces away. Mintz, defender on his hip, finds Girard, unleashing a three.
I tell you what, Wake is really lucky at this point to be down only 6. As sloppy as they've been.
Appleby!
Make that 3.
Wake has made its last 5 three-point attempts. $11 points for Appleby. He's the first player in our game to get to double digits. Good hustle by Appleby. Couldn't save it out of bounds. It'll be Orange basketball when we come back. This three-pointer belongs to Appleby. Way behind the line for 3 for Tyree Appleby. 32-29 Orange with 3:16 to go in our first half of play. Coming up at halftime, the 2003 national champions from Syracuse will be honored here inside the Dome.
I don't know if there's ever been one freshman who's had as big an impact with the team as Carmelo Anthony had with that club. I mean, you could look at Kentucky's one-and-done national championship and Duke's too. You know, a bunch of freshmen doing it, but what a special year.
Jerry McNamara, his running mate, also a freshman. National champs in 2003 defeated Kansas at the Louisiana Superdome. What a run it was to the title, Mike. They were unranked to start the season, won 30 games. Edwards on the alley-oop, a little bit behind him, twisting to try to get that ball up on the rim. It goes out of bounds and stays with Syracuse.
Another reason why I don't put too much in preseason polls. Now, you know, I don't know that they could have projected the impact those two guys would have on the season.
It was interesting last night. They said they started the run in Boston, then went to Albany, and both of those places felt like home games for the Orange as Judah Mintz hits and is fouled.
It really has been fun to watch his game expand. I mean, I think everything is slowed down for him, which it takes freshmen a little while for that to happen, especially at the point guard position.
Despite the miss, Mintz 5th in the nation in freshman scoring, just over 16 points per game. He's got 11 tonight, 4 of 8. First miss from the free throw line moments ago by Judah Mintz. 2:40 to go on the clock. Edwards steps in the passing lane, deflects it away. Mintz leads the break just inside the free throw line with the soft touch. Mintz.
He's really gotten downhill and gotten deep into the paint off of the break. Wake has really got a zero. They got to chip in with somebody else on him and try to stop him.
Carr looking for a safety valve, and Appleby. Carr tracks down the long rebound, closing in on 2 minutes to go in the half.
You know, it's got to be fascinating to talk to former players, because the one constant that's been through this time has been Jim Boeheim in this zone. So to see, you know, come and see, get guys' opinions on what these guys are doing out on the floor. They've all been there.
Wake Forest had made 5 threes in a row prior to the miss by Appleby on this possession. Traveling violation and back to the orange. 7-point game with 1:57 remaining in the half.
Well, at least from Wake's standpoint, that turnover, a dead ball turnover, so they can get back and get set defensively.
Wake has lost 3 of its last 4 as well. Both of these teams looking for some momentum. Headed to Greensboro next week, where they will oppose one another. Girard misses. Marsh goes high for the rebound. Appleby crossed it over and lost it. Open up ahead, Girard. Carr gets back into play and fouls Girard.
Second personal foul on Carr. And that just, Appleby just completely lost the basketball. And actually, you know, Girard, I think he gave up on completing the play, but he did a nice job of drawing the foul.
The senior from Glens Falls, New York. About 160 miles due east of Syracuse. High school legend on the football field and basketball court. 122 straight starts, Mike, in his 124 games played in an orange uniform.
And, you know, a lot of them at the point guard position. And I think much better suited this year moving off the ball with Mintz coming in.
Double figures 24 times this season for Girard. Williamson, both sides of the rim. Marsh couldn't complete the play. Mintz got caught in midair, and Taylor picked it off. He's got Appleby to his right. Leans into a 3. Girard. Williamson had it for a moment, and now Appleby takes it from Mintz.
Does anybody want the ball?
Williamson along the baseline, and he lost the handle.
Sometimes the ball has a mind of its own.
Erratic play.
That was crazy.
14 turnovers by Wake, and got a bit of a wardrobe malfunction there, G-Man. The bottom of Girard's shoe has come dislodged.
And there you see the pit stop and getting some fresh tires.
Do you flash back to Zion Williamson when he stepped out of his shoe, or threw it rather? Interesting.
I don't know that Joe is that quick.
It's a little smaller too. That's Edwards, the big man on the glass. So while Girard makes a pit stop and changes athletic footwear, we play on with 30 seconds to go in the half.
And Edwards has been really efficient in this half. 11 points, 8 boards for him.
4 of 5 from the floor for Edwards as well. And he blocks that shot of Carr. Hands it off to Mintz.
See, nice job. That's what I talk about, the maturity. Mintz not forcing the action right there. Saw he didn't have numbers. Let everybody come and set up.
Mintz. Tough follow away on the baseline. Too strong. And that'll end the half. A 10-point advantage for the Orange. Going just 1 of 8 from 3-point distance. But it's Syracuse to the locker room.
And any kind of histrionics on the floor, because that whistle is running a little hot right now.
Technical foul right at the end of the first half. Here we go with the second half. Let's crank it up from the dome. Syracuse, New York. Wormy, Jaminski, and our outstanding ACC college basketball production crew. Skeeter Francis Award winner, Mike Jaminski.
Well, and I thank you to you and our crew for surprising me with that, and you all make it very, very special.
So that's Klintman reaching in for his third personal.
My only regret is I don't have a wild-clad coat to wear to the. Skeeter was famous for those.
You can wear like one of those jackets with a crest on it if you want, or something.
Yeah, exactly.
When you win the award, you can do whatever you want. Saved by Wake Forest.
I can throw it into the crowd when I'm done.
That's true. I hope you get it back and dry cleaned. Appleby through the defense. Aerial pass. Hildreth's been quiet in this game, Mike. Williamson is open for a three, and he's going to hit that more often than not.
And, you know, he couldn't have scripted a better start. 5 points for Wake right out of the chute, and that technical foul gives them a little bit of momentum.
6 of their last 9 3-pointers made. This is Mintz getting creative, too strong.
Yeah, it would have been better giving that one up. He was in a tough position. Yeah, I think just Hildreth has not really had his opportunities against the zone. He's been very quiet and hasn't done much out in the open floor either.
Yeah, he's 0 for 2 shooting in the game.
Yeah,
Edwards now, Mike, with his 13th double-double of the season.
Yep.
That's Girard.
Joe Girard. Syracuse 41, Wake Forest 34.
Girard with 12. Into double digits, 25th time this season, and the 82nd time in his Syracuse career. Klintman over the shoulder.
And really nice pass by Appleby that time. They got little man principle against the zone. They screened up top, let Appleby get into the paint, and he finished it off for a teammate.
4 assists for Appleby in the game.
I tell you, Klintman is going to be a really nice player for this Wake Forest team.
This is Mintz in a congested area, got fouled.
Forest foul.
Malik Brown is committed to the game for the Orange.
I think they're trying to get clarification on who that was on.
I, too, am seeking clarification, Mike Jaminski.
Aren't we all? On a number of
In
different
life in general, yes, absolutely. And you notice Coach Boeheim's warm-up jacket there. That's the old logo from 03, Mike, that S through the basketball. What they wore in the run in 03.
Number 11, Andrew Carr. His 3rd personal.
So they gave it to Carr, Mike. That's his 3rd. This is Girard. Edwards somehow got his hands on the ball, got tangled up with Carr, and he's picked up another. That's number 4 on Carr.
And I think the reason he got that is he was actually almost face guarding Edwards. They were tangled up. I thought the call could have gone either way, but they're going to have to come in with Marsh.
Substitution for David Eakins, number 33.
So Carr picked up the last 2 fouls. This is the first one. Right there trying to tie up Mintz.
And it looked like Klintman actually had it first.
And then he fouled Edwards going for the rebound. And we've got a wedgie. Luckily,
Almost an atomic wedgie, but
not
close.
atomic.
Yeah.
Here's that second foul as Carr and Edwards got tangled up. Edwards, by the way, 11 points, 11 boards, the double-double.
Number 10, Sybert Torres.
Carr to the bench with the 4 personals, Mike.
And that's, you know, we talked about a Carr limited with that hand injury, but not as mobile as, or much more mobile than Marsh.
Yeah, that injury has bothered him for the last several games. Heard it on the road at BC. Williamson. That might have been deflected, and it was.
Malik
It was
Brown.
Yeah, closing quickly, Mike. Torrance. Senior from right here in Syracuse, and a transfer from Marquette.
You know, with Bell and Brown out there, they've got the length on the wings to get out and bother shots.
Girard. Torrance got it back. Edwards demanding the ball. Trying to make the move against Marsh. It goes out of bounds and will stay with Syracuse.
I can't remember a game where there's been less positive control with the basketball than in this one. It's been all over the place.
How about 15 turnovers for Wake Forest? Still in this ball game, 41-36. Over the top, Klintman. Appleby racing to the bucket and laying it in.
When you're underneath out of bounds and you throw it back to half court, you are just inviting that play. And talk about length, Klintman has that.
Girard had to kick it back out. Bell, one dribble and fire.
Wow. I mean, he's okay from 3, but no hesitation in looking for his own shot there.
Double team in the corner on Williamson.
Well, Bell and Edwards a great job bottling him up.
Number 3, Gina Mintz for the Orange, replacing Sagar Torres.
And I think Jim Boeheim likes what he sees with both Brown and Bell out there on that back part of the zone.
Bell had not played in the last 2 games, Mike. Didn't get into the lineup. Fight for the rebound. Won by Edwards. 12 boards now for Edwards. Girard back to Edwards for the jam, and he was fouled.
Well, and that's the thing. We talked about it with Girard. They're really jumping out hard on him, just leaving Edwards completely alone. The backside late getting in defensively. Terrific pass.
Such an awesome look from right behind the backboard inside the dome.
That's just a senior play by Joe Girard, knowing that they're going to really jump him hard, try to get the ball out of his hands. Well, they did. It led to a dunk.
Despite the miss, 13 points in the game for Edwards, defending Hildreth. Forces up the shot and creates contact.
And that was Cam Hildreth really trying to get into the offensive flow.
Take a timeout on Jim Boeheim court inside the dome. Hakim Warrick was a player of the year in the Big East, and this is the fresh market. Discover the best side by side, McNamara and Warrick.
And I tell you, it used to be 1,000 points in your career was a benchmark. You get 2 guys on the same team scoring 2,000 points in their career. You're doing a lot of work.
Jerry McNamara, 4th in school history on the left, current assistant coach for Jim Boeheim. Hakim Warrick, 5th in school history with his point production. Jerry McNamara, 400 career threes. That's a school record. Warrick was the player of the year in 05, a Big East champion, and the tournament MVP. And he's currently a G League assistant with the Ignite. Hildreth at the free throw line for Wake Forest and his first point.
Then Buddy Boeheim just got his call up from the Pistons as well, so he's on the big roster.
I will say there were 2 other big ovations at the event last night. When Buddy sent the video message, and when Jimmy sent the video message. You recall the youngster in those pictures of the national title with Coach Boeheim holding his hand. That was Jimmy. Bell. Edwards out-leaping everybody.
Did a nice job getting position that time, anticipating the long rebound.
Edwards powers his way in, and the follow for 2. Malik Brown on the tip.
I tell you, Bell and Brown not only doing well defensively, but also giving them a little lift on the offensive end.
The lead is 8 for Syracuse.
Even right there, I mean, that's usually a place that you can attack the zone, but nothing happening for Clinton.
Williamson on the attack. Marsh had to send it back out. Shot clock's down to 2 for Clinton. Marsh knocked it away from Edwards. The Orange has it. Mintz will cross it over.
1 on 4. I think I'll pull it back.
Waiting for reinforcements. Bell and Brown have combined for 9 points.
Got the switch.
Shot clock running down as well.
Nice job by Marsh playing that switch, though.
Williamson had to reel it back in.
Well, Bell recovered quickly into the corner. Talked about it. That's been a soft spot over the last 4 games for this zone. Not so much in this game.
Shot clock inside of 10 for Hildreth. Clinton around the edge. Edwards put up the roadblock. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Girard up against Marsh. Absorbing contact and scoring.
I liked it, didn't complain about anything, just dusted himself up, got to the other floor, but a nice job concentrating through contact.
14 points now for Girard. Here's Klintman. Tees up the three. Side rim. And out of bounds.
And we've seen a lot from Girard in this game, Tom. I mean, he's taken what the defense has given him. He's gone inside. He's scored off the dribble. He's posted up a couple times in this game.
I got a chance to talk to Girard, Mike, prior to the game, and he took those words to heart from Carmelo Anthony last night at the event. Carmelo looked up into the second mezzanine and directed his comments at the current team. That's Edwards going up the ladder from Mintz.
The back line falling asleep for Wake Forest.
So both Klintman and Carr are on the court with 4 personals. Hildreth
Was just really aware of where Edwards was. The threat of his shot block forced that miss.
saw Bell and Girard collide. Now Girard feeds it off to Edwards. Tried to follow his miss.
Offensive goaltending.
He was up on the cylinder. Wake Forest basketball. It's a different feel to the effort of the Orange, Mike, as compared to Tuesday when Georgia Tech came in and made 18 threes, a school record.
Well, and it's the looks that Wake is not getting. I mean, that's the big thing. This zone has been active. They've recovered the shooters. And it's been at the end of the shot clock in a lot of possessions for Wake Forest in the half court.
That's Carr.
One of the first times they've gotten that pass over the top.
5 points for Carr. The lead back to 10 with 12:30 to go and rolling in our second half of play.
I think, you know, I think Syracuse will sacrifice that a little bit to stay at home on those three-point shooters.
Mintz scoops it up. Shot clock's at 10.
That's going to be a foul on Taylor inside.
Second on Taylor.
Second personal, keep on number 5.
Fifth on the team for Wake Forest in the second half. Girard wants it right back. Lost the handle. Defender fell down. Got it back. Here's Bell. Carr gobbles it up. Gives it to Appleby, and then he and Bell got tangled up, and Appleby went flying. He's okay. Right in front of our broadcast position.
There's a pretty nice hustle. I mean, that was a little bit of a careless pass.
It's just good hustle, clean play by both players. As Bell was going for the steal. Appleby, Klintman for the jam and the rim rocker on the alley-oop.
Second time Appleby's gotten that play. They get him that little screen. He gets into the lane and makes things happen on the lob.
6 assists for Appleby.
This is average.
Best in the conference, 6.2 per game. Tyree Appleby. Edwards. Free throws coming, and that could be number 5 on Carr.
That's his 10th personal foul.
And it is. So Andrew Carr going to the Wake Forest bench on a permanent basis.
Syracuse 52, Wake Forest 44, checking in for the
Despite the protests from Steve Forbes. Hakim Warrick will be our very special guest when we come back inside the dome as we celebrate the national title from '03.
So sweet, so...
It's an 8-point lead for the Orange here in the second half. Final regular season game. It is a day to celebrate Orange basketball. We've got a very special guest, Hakim Warrick, a member of the 2003 national championship team and their win against Kansas and New Orleans. And Hakim, it's got to be an incredible weekend for you over the last couple days to see your teammates again and think about that '03 national title.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a big weekend for me, especially getting a chance to watch them live. This is my first game at the Dome since senior night, so
wow,
it's been good to go there, and then having my boys with me to bring in the weekend makes it even special.
You know, we were talking earlier about former teammates who played this zone. Do you look at guys when you're watching this over the years and critique the zone a little bit?
Yeah, I'm always watching, and just It's pretty much, it's like a format, the same guys, the same length and athleticism, and so I'm always watching the game and watching and critiquing.
In 03, you guys start, you're not ranked at the beginning of the year. Was there a game that you, or a time in the year when you all felt like, hey, we've got something special here?
I think for me, I knew we were going to be special just that first pickup game playing with Carmelo and G-Mac. But if it was a game that I felt that we could possibly win it all, it was, I think we beat Pitt at home. They were ranked the #1 team, and it was a come-from-behind victory. The fans rushed the floor. And with them being the #1 team, I just felt like if we can beat #1, then, I mean, we can beat anybody.
Yep.
What were your first impressions when you saw Carmelo Anthony and Jerry McNamara? Because they were the freshmen coming in.
They were the freshmen coming in.
How'd you feel about
that? So when I first saw them, I'm looking at, like, they hype about these two guys. Like, Melo got that little pudgy. He's not like the strongest looking guy. G-Mac, he don't look like he's going to be out there giving people 30. But as soon as they start playing, I knew right away they were special.
How long does it take you, how long does it take a player in this system to really understand the zone defense and how to play it the way Coach Boeheim wants it played?
It takes a while because it's not your normal 2-3 zone, especially like coming from high school and AAU. A lot of the time, teams, they play zone because they want you to shoot. They want to keep you out the paint. But this Syracuse zone, we try to take away those shots and make you work for it.
Great move inside by Edwards, and the entry pass from Girard. When we go back to 2003, you had that incredible moment where you blocked the shot from the corner, preserved the three-point win against Kansas. But you were at the free throw line prior to that, and I like what you said last night at the viewing event of the 03 national title game. You were very honest about those free throws that could have maybe sealed it prior to your defensive play.
Yeah, definitely. Like I never felt that type of pressure before, especially after missing that first one. So that's why I knew I had to make that play and make that block, and I was just glad I was able to get out there and get a hand on it.
Okay, I asked you about the zone. How long does it take a freshman to get used to Coach Boeheim?
Still working on it.
I mean, it depends on the player. There's some guys that there's some guys that took 4 or 5 years. But with me, I think coming into my sophomore year, he would try to yell at me, and I just would be like, nah, you need me now. I'm not going to let it affect me as much. But he definitely will get on you. And if you let him, he'll ride you. He'll ride you all the way until your senior year.
But I think he wants you to stay on the air with us because they've gone on a little bit of a run here.
I know.
Edwards again. After the thunderous jam, he lays it in. Timeout on the court. Hakim Warrick, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on all your success. And to your teammates, 03, #1 in the nation.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
It's here. Ford Truck Month.
Your day to remember, no doubt about that. Has been efficient all game long. Nice job on the rebound. Very active inside, very quick. Wake Forest has not been able to match his agility inside. He's coming up on a big boy double-double, Tom. 16 rebounds to go with his 23 points. The 2020 game for him, maybe? Be a nice way to go out here at home.
We will see. Edwards has the last 8 points on the 8-0 run. Jesse Edwards, 5th time this season he's gone for 20 points or more. Double-figure rebounds 15 times this year. And remember, Mike, he missed a good part of the season last year with a wrist injury against Boston College.
I thought that's when this team's season really took a big hit with that injury. So important. Although, you know what? It's good to see that Chris Brown and Malik Brown and Chris Bell have been rewarded with their defensive effort in this zone. Jim Boeheim has stayed with this lineup for a good 10 minutes now.
Edwards also has 5 steals to tie a career high and 2 blocks. He's got another rebound. Just rips it away from Wake Forest.
And you know, you're going to settle for, you'll love Appleby settling for that shot.
Mintz on the handle. Wake is just 1 of 9 on threes in the second half. This is Edwards getting creative. That one spun around the edge of the rim in clockwise fashion.
Counter or?
Wouldn't fall for him. Everything else is falling, though. Shot clock to 10 for Wake. Got to get busy. Right back to Appleby. He's got the range.
See, at least then, though, they got a touch at the free throw line, collapsed a little bit, and Appleby able to catch in rhythm. Better look at the three.
18 points for Appleby. Edwards had the ball on his hip and lost it. Flicks it out to Mintz. Inside of 8 minutes to go in the second half.
Steve Forbes really upset that his team didn't come up with that errant pass.
Girard turns around and hits. It's all net for Girard.
And you know what? Mintz is the guy you expect at the end of the clock to be making things happen, but Girard did that off the dribble.
Taylor for three. Edwards just cleans the glass one more time.
Yeah, there hasn't, well, I mean, with Carr and with Marsh not in the game, there's not that offensive rebounding presence.
Carr is fouled out for Wake Forest. Girard against two defenders.
It's just, you know, Jesse Edwards is just, he's just covering every shot on both ends of the floor.
Zach Keller is in there for Wake Forest, number 25 in black. Shot clock at 10. Turnaround Taylor. Big collision. Keller came flying in and collided with Bell, his first personal. You want to stay tuned for the fast break. It's presented by your local Ford dealer. We'll look at G-Man's season-ending awards in the ACC. The Orange out in front of Wake Forest. Senior night and the final day of the regular season. .62-47 late in the second half. Wake Forest and Syracuse. Time for the drive presented by Defender.
Yeah, we talked about him getting downhill and that going right, finishing left. Loves to get to that right hand, and so very tough to keep him from getting where he wants to go.
13 points for Mintz, one of 3 double-digit scorers in the game for the Orange. Edwards has 23. Girard has 16. 2 of the 4 seniors honored prior to the game, Edwards and Girard. Trying to go out with a victory, G-Man, inside the dome and snap a 4-game losing streak at the end of the season. Back in 03, the Orange went undefeated inside the dome on their way to a national title.
Syracuse has left some points at the free throw line. 12 of 20 now in the game.
Appleby elevates and rattles it home.
Well, and we saw this at the end of the first half that Wake Forest came alive from the three.
21 points for Appleby as Mintz hits the deck and got fouled.
And Lucas Taylor's got to be careful. He can't be going like that with the referees already having blown 2 technicals. Sophomores don't get that kind of latitude.
Third on Taylor puts Mintz at the free throw line. The freshman from Fort Washington, Maryland, out of Oak Hill Academy in Virginia. Best on the team in assists, best in the league in steals. Started every game this season in an orange uniform for the freshman. Trying to get around the screen. Appleby puts up the three. Girard poked it away. And that one saved by Brown.
And Appleby hadn't had the best shooting day today, Tom. But the thing is, I mean, he's gotten his numbers. They made him work for him, but he hasn't had any help out there offensively.
He is 5 of 12 on three-point tries. 9 made threes for Wake Forest. Girard was on line but misses. Orange just 2 of 13 on threes. Williamson knocks it down.
And this is, you know, a couple of sleepy possessions for Syracuse. And a couple of threes, all of a sudden things tighten up a little bit.
Demon Deeks, the best at making threes in the regular season in the ACC. Trying to climb back into this one. Girard and Williamson. Girard with a twisting shot. He hit the deck. Edwards cleans it up. 25 points for Edwards. He's got another rebound. That's 19. He's 1 away from a 20-20 game. Mintz stumbling, got it away. Miss from Bell. And now Edwards has the 20-20 game, G-Man, with 25 points, 21 boards, 1 short of his career high, which he set against Bryant this season. Keller inside, fights for Wake.
This Edwards has been everywhere, both ends of the floor. It's just a fabulous game for him, but a little too early for Syracuse to go into a victory trot right now. Jim Boeheim wants to talk things over.
Timeout on the court, 11-point difference, just inside of 4 minutes to go in regulation. Orange in front by 11. Time for our Coyote tractor turning point in this second half. Syracuse trying to send those seniors out with a victory, Mike.
Yeah, and it's been the two of them that have been terrific today. And Edwards just loves working on that block, and Jim Boeheim is really liking what he sees with Brown and Bell in there for defensive purposes. So he's got 3 scorers on the floor.
Jesse Edwards, 25 points. That leads everybody. That's 2 shy of his career high of 27. That was at BC this season. What a game for Jesse Edwards. What a way to finish up in the Dome. In all likelihood. And so the last time somebody put a 20-20 game together, you go back to 09 and that 6 overtime victory against UConn, 29-20 for Paul Harris in the Big East tournament. Poked away from Girard into the backcourt.
Yeah, and Jesse Edwards has done it in about 35 minutes.
Yeah. That's Mintz. Edwards grabs it. Wake Forest basketball.
You know, in that situation again, if Mintz gets something up on the rim, Edwards has got great position inside offensively.
Williamson missed the mark. Officials say it was not touched despite his protest.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, Brown got nice pressure on the shot, but he was the first one to say, I didn't touch it.
Girard to Brown.
Really nice find.
4 assists for Girard. Now we're inside of 3 minutes to go in regulation. Hildreth, strong move to the basket.
That was against Edwards too, the best shot blocker in the conference. But that's the strength of Hildreth, and he's been quiet in this game.
Four points for Hildreth now. Mintz trying to beat Hildreth to the bucket. Too strong to Klintman. Keller. Wake Forest timeout after the Keller basket.
And I think I think Steve Forbes only has one left.
And the lead is down to single digits with 2:10 to go. As we go around the ACC, Virginia locked up the #2 seed, Mike, with that win. North Carolina and Duke, second time this season. Duke won the first meeting in Durham. And for the #1 seed, Pitt against Miami for the top seed next week in Greensboro.
And you look at it, and those two are really coming off some head scratching. But Miami losing at home to Florida State with time. Cleveland hitting that half-court bomb to win the game, and then Pitt had things in their hands, and they go to Notre Dame. A very emotional last home game for Mike Bray and that group. They come out of there with the win, so that sets up this game for the #1 seed and a share of the regular season.
68-59, the Orange in front after leading by 10 after the first half. Tyree Appleby, 21 points, leading scorer for Wake Forest. He is 5 of 13 on three-point tries. Wake has made 10 threes. Mike, they've attempted 37, which is really par for the course for most recent opponents against the Orange, trying to shoot over volume style.
Well, and it's just been a better offensive effort for this team, for Syracuse. Gotten to the free throw line, haven't left a few points there.
Now 14 of 22 from the line for the Orange, shooting 41% as a team.
Syracuse really running clock in this possession.
Edwards up on the rim.
How about the pass from Brown, too? Really nice lob.
Klintman, too strong. Hildreth on the weak side. And that's Keller for the jam.
I'll tell you what, Zach Keller's come in and done a nice job with Carr fouling out and Marsh having issues.
So Edwards has tied his career high with 27 points in this game.
You're going to see a 30-20 maybe?
He is 1 rebound shy of his career high. Jesse Edwards leaving it all on the floor in this last regular season home game. He wants it again. He got rim, but not enough ball. Final minute. 9-point game. Appleby kept his footing. Hildreth from Appleby. We're not done, G-Man.
No. And then Steve Forbes waving his team up.
Coach Forbes does not have a timeout to work with as Hildreth picks up his second personal foul.
Well, Steve Forbes had to burn those timeouts to keep his team in the game. And with 44 seconds right there.
So Mintz at the line in the bonus situation. 44.8 seconds to go. Perhaps this Orange team, Mike, inspired by the words of Carmelo Anthony last night at the national title game watch event.
Inspired or threatened?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Had the Orange men hat on, because that was the nickname back in the day. Appleby misses, hits the court. Orange basketball with Girard.
And Steve Forbes is calling everybody back, and it's going to be a home win on senior day for this team. And Jesse Edwards have an afternoon.
27 points, 20 rebounds, 5 steals, 2 blocks. Only turned it over twice and played the entire game.
And the 4-game losing streak is a distant memory.
So Syracuse will be the number 8 seed. Wake Forest the number 9 seed. They will meet in Greensboro on day 2 next week at the tournament.
And they'll have a rather fresh game film to review.
Will. This was their only meeting in the regular season. And now Syracuse 6-0 against Wake Forest in the Dome.
Against this defense, I think it really helps Wake Forest playing them this soon afterwards.
72-63 is the final score. Coach Boeheim with career win number 1,015 in his 47th year as the Syracuse head coach. Girard, Edwards, and Mintz the double digits, and Edwards led everybody with